Welcome back, third graders. Today we are going to be reading Embrace It by Michael Bonner. It has his signature in here, which is pretty cool. Isaiah waved goodbye to his mother as he rushed through the school doors towards his classroom. Isaiah had started second grade about 2 months before, and he really loved his classroom. It had disco lights, and his best friends Amir and Elijah were in his class. "Good morning, my beautiful scholars," Mr. Lane says with a smile. "Your daily problem is on the board. Let's get started and see who will solve it correctly today." Quickly, the students took out their tablets and started working. Isaiah tried to enter his answer, but a large message appeared on his screen. "Incorrect." Isaiah checked his work and tried again, but once again the tablet made a loud sound, indicating that his answer was wrong. Isaiah was perplexed, furious, and could no longer hold in his anger. He took his tablet and slammed it down onto his desk. Wham! Everybody stopped working and stared at him. Isaiah buried his head into his arms and began to cry. He was embarrassed and felt like he wasn't smart enough. Mr. Lane walked over and quietly asked him, "What's wrong, champ?" Isaiah refused to answer. Mr. Lane whispered into his ear so that his classmates couldn't hear him, saying, "It's okay, Isaiah. You can tell me what's wrong." Isaiah yelled out, "I hate math. I've tried this stupid problem 3 times, and I keep getting it wrong. I feel so stupid." Mr. Lane didn't flinch and knew exactly what to do. "Come down to the carpet, kids. I want to tell you something." The students came to the carpet, but Isaiah refused to leave his seat. Everybody faces problems sometimes. This includes me, your friends, and even your parents. Things simply will not always go your way, said Mr. Lane. There are people all across the world who have found ways to keep going when things become hard in life. This includes the people you look up to. Amira quietly raised her hand and asked, "What do you mean, Mr. Lane?" Mr. Lane picked up his tablet and sent some pictures to the screen. LeBron James is arguably one of the world's greatest basketball players. He has the ability to make great things happen on and off the court. But his childhood started off rocky. At 8 years old, LeBron James missed 100 days of school, moved 12 times, and lived with parents who were both in trouble with the law. His mother did not have a lot of money to take care of him. Eventually, LeBron had to be separated from his mother, and he moved in with his youth football coach. All of a sudden, LeBron started being on time and finding a way to push through hard times. LeBron focused on his schoolwork first and basketball second. Now, he has won 3 NBA championships, received 4 MVPs, and built his own school called I Promise, which helps students from every background. Malala is a young woman who is a hero to many, but that title didn't come easy. Malala attended a school that her father started in Pakistan. There were a group of bad men called the Taliban who believed young girls should not be able to attend school. Malala believed that everyone, even girls, should be allowed to learn. The Taliban were furious about this. One day, a masked gunman from the Taliban stopped Malala's school bus and struck her in the face with a bullet. Luckily, the doctors were able to save her after multiple surgeries. She is now known all across the world for standing up for young women's rights and has become the youngest person ever to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. Michael Phelps has 23 Olympic gold medals, but most people don't know his story. As a kid, students bullied him about the size of his ears and the way that he talked. Michael started wearing baseball hats to cover his ears and began using the swimming pool as a place to get away from all of the hurtful comments. He began focusing his energy on swimming and was elected as the youngest person to make the U.S. Olympic swimming team at 15 years old. Michael practiced extremely hard and went on to win 23 Olympic gold medals, which is the most in Olympic history. Bruno Mars is known for his up-tempo and flashy smile, but life was hard for him while growing up in Honolulu, Hawaii. His nickname was Little Elvis because of his amazing dancing and singing talent. Bruno's parents got divorced when he was 12 years old. His father was no longer working and ran out of money, so Bruno became homeless. There were times when he slept in an old zoo. Now, Bruno Mars is one of the biggest pop stars the world has ever seen. Often, he shares stories describing those rough moments and how it taught him to keep going when things got tough. He uses that same mindset when writing new songs and trying out new ideas in order to become a better artist. Stephen Curry always wanted to play in the NBA. At the age of 5, he started playing basketball, and there was a huge problem. Steph was smaller than most of his friends. Experts didn't believe that Stephen Curry looked like an NBA guard. Most people said that he wasn't strong enough to play in the NBA and wouldn't be a good point guard. They thought he shot the basketball too much and wouldn't make it in NBA. Curry continued to play even though people said hurtful things about him. Eventually, he was drafted by the Golden State Warriors. Now he has won 3 NBA Finals and 2 Most Valuable Player awards. Oprah Winfrey always dreamed of being on television because African Americans were not well represented. At the age of 19, she became the youngest and first African American woman news anchor at her television station. Oprah was picked to be on another station in Baltimore when she was 22 years old. Shortly after, the news channel told Oprah that she was boring, stiff, and couldn't speak well. The news station fired her. Oprah's feelings were hurt, but she didn't give up. She decided to start a talk show in Chicago. Within 2 years, the Oprah Winfrey Show became one of the most popular talk shows in history. She ended the Oprah Winfrey Show in order to create her own television network, Oprah Winfrey Network. Oprah is now a billionaire, helping to make the world better. Jaha is from a beautiful country called the Gambia. Her mother was her closest friend, but she died when Jaha was 14 years old. She then moved to New York with her family members and started over. When she arrived in New York, 10 high schools wouldn't let her attend because she needed her mom to sign the paper. This could not happen because Jaha's mom had passed away. Soon she was accepted into a high school and also graduated from college. Jaha started Safe Hands for Girls, which is an organization that stops people from hurting young girls. In 2014, President Barack Obama helped her end the terrible things that were happening to young women. Due to her hard work, Jaha was named one of the Time magazine's 100 most influential people and was also nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Mistakes and hard times will happen, said Mr. Lane. Life isn't about who answers the most questions correctly or who can be perfect. It's about who can dig deep within themselves and find the strength to keep going when everything seems like it's going wrong. People who can master this skill will learn that joy is on the other side of tough times. In the words of Robert Schuller, tough times don't last. Tough people do. At the last word left Mr. Lane's mouth, all of his students were ready to get back to work, including Isaiah. He was no longer angry, and with a glimmering smile, he continued to work on his tablet. This time, he answered the question correctly. The end.